noise in the cinema this week, and that is Thunderbolts Asterix. So this is Marvel, and I think everybody over the last 10, 15 years, Marvel has ruled the roost. Marvel has been like, for a lot of people, Marvel has been Hollywood. And recently they've had if someone would say a little bit of a downturn. I know that the last film that they released, Captain America: Brave New World, got quite a bit of a kicking. Got quite a bit of a kicking critically. On this podcast, I quite liked it. Sean, you didn't. and so they're in this weird thing where they're trying to sort of I think Marvel are trying to get back to even half of what they used to be. And then they bring out this film Thunderbolts. And Thunderbolts is a film in which they have gathered a whole bunch of characters who were secondary characters, quite frankly. I think every character that's in this, except one. Except one. Every character that's in this has shown up in another Marvel thing. So you have Florence Pugh's Yelena Belova, who was in the Black Widow movie. That's the first time we saw her. Same thing with Red Guardian, played by David Harbour. Bucky Barnes, we've seen him before. We have the Ghost, who was in Ant-Man and the Wasp, was the first place that she showed up. We have John Walker, otherwise known as U.S. Agent, or as they call him in the film, the Dime Store Captain America, who first showed up in the Falcon and Winter Soldier TV show. And so you have Taskmaster, who was also in the Black Widow movie. And these were characters that showed up, didn't have that much screen time, didn't make that much of an impression, especially and there's a storyline where they're all brought together by someone called Valentina Allegra de Fontaine, played by Julia Louis-Dreyfus. And the whole idea is that she has gotten them together and she's been running all these black ops for the CIA. So she's just been getting them and sending them on all these missions and going, go do this, go do this, go do this, go do this. And when the film kicks off, you kick off with Florence Pugh's character Yelena, who is having a bit of a midlife crisis, going, what do I even do anymore? I just get a job, I go there, I do this, I kill people, I go back home, I wait for the next job, I go there, and she's wondering what's going on in life. At the same time as that's going on, Valentina de Allegra de Fontaine is in front of Congress, and they're saying, we need to shut you down, we need to lock you away because you have been doing some bad stuff as the head of the CIA and as the head of this company called Oxcorp. You've been doing some dodgy things. We're going to find it out. And while they're trying to chase her down, she is at the same time trying to clean up all of the dodgy stuff that she's been hiding. And that is the basic premise of the film and how it goes forward. And then it becomes, so all these people who have, that through means, as happens in all these movies, they become this ragtag bunch of sort of B team kind of if the Avengers are the A team, they're the B team kind of thing. People who have been in the background this whole time, who are trying to come together to become a thing to take on a threat. And I think that's what I'll say, because to say much more I think would begin to spoil the plot. That's the basic idea of Thunderbolts. What did you guys think of this?
Okay, well, for me this is quite funny. This so you've got Florence Pugh, who I absolutely adore.
Yeah, you love Florence Pugh for very good reason.
Jason, what's his name, who plays the captain? Jason Clark, is it?
No. Sure, you got the wrong person. It's Wyatt Russell.
Wyatt Russell,
Wyatt Russell, Kurt Russell's son. Yeah.
Right. Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. It looks similar.
I have a feeling that right now Sean's entire review has just changed, because I figured that if you're gonna bring up Jason Clark, you're gonna go on a rant on how much you hate him.
Because but the funny thing is, Tosin, I liked him in this. I thought, but I'm glad to know, because I was going to actually say
that's why you liked it.
Like Jason Clark, I was going to actually say I was really surprised because I liked him in this. So
it wasn't Jason Clark, although now you mentioned it, I can see the resemblance between Wyatt Russell and Jason Clark.
You see what I mean? It was like
I see what you mean.
Everest or something. So you have a look again.
Yeah,
I thought it was Jason Clark.
I see what you mean, but it was Wyatt Russell. So rest assured, Sean, you can continue your hate. You can continue your hate on Jason Clark unabated.
So anyway, what about that? But anyway, Florence Pugh, I love. I found this because I wasn't expecting much. I thought I'd be all sort of partied out with superheroes and stuff.
Yeah.
But I found myself really, really quite enjoying this movie.
Yeah.
I like the characters. I like Ghost as well. So I sort of felt a bit. Yeah, I don't know why. I think Ghost is quite a good character. So
I think so too. And Ant-Man and the Wasp, when she first showed up, she had nothing to do. She pretty much had nothing to do. Yeah.
So I found this. I found myself quite enjoying this movie. It was much more surprising than what I thought it was going to be. So yeah, an unexpected surprise, and fairly, I like the ending as well. I thought
Yeah.
you're on about Van and whatever name is
Valentina Allegra de
Yeah, that
Fontaine.
was. I mean, she was like a love-hate sort of person, wasn't she? Do you know what I
Well,
mean? She was
yeah.
like, she was
The
like,
thing is, I think her character, she is like a constantly cornered rat who is
yes,
always figuring out a way just to squirm out of the thing and come up. And I think, and even the ending, it remains true to that whole sort of like cornered rat finding a
yes,
way.
it is. Yeah, like what are we going to do here? Yeah,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
was
yeah,
it was really really clever. Oh, look, well, yeah.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah, yep.
yeah, that was so I really liked that, and I don't think it was quite as comedic as like say Guardians of the Galaxy, but there was enough in there, and I think for me personally that worked because it wasn't
Yeah.
too much in your face. It was, but there were moments of and yeah, the action scenes were pretty cool as well.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
I have to say a shout out to Lewis Pullman. Lewis Pullman, who played a character called Bob, and I think I think Lewis Pullman is very very good. Like the first time I saw him was in Bad Times at the El Royale. And
yeah.
I think
Oh yeah,
yes,
yeah.
yeah, Bad Times at the El Royale, and if you recognize the last name and the face, he is Bill Pullman's son. But I feel like he's made a lot of decisions that sort of like move him away from that, and I think he probably has the hardest job to do in this film, and
Yeah,
I found him quite convincing. Sharon,
yeah.
what did you think?
I haven't actually seen it.
Oh, good lord, good point. Yeah, no, you haven't seen it. It's just me and Sean. Oh, then in that case,
But my only impetus is I feel like I've been left behind by the sheer amount of content from
yeah,
Marvel.
yeah,
And because I'm a little bit of a completist, I think I like to watch the series and then the film and then the next film and then this film. And if I miss one, then I think, oh, well, I can't watch the next one because I haven't seen that one.
yeah.
And so because that's happened with so many of the series and like 3 or 4 of the films now, I feel like I've been left behind. So to be honest with you, I tend to see a Marvel film come out and thinking, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
that ship has sailed. I'm too far behind, I feel like, to engage with it anymore.
And Marvel have. I was actually reading an article earlier this week, and Marvel have realized that. And you know how I think there was a time when a couple of Marvel movies ago, I was talking about the fact where I feel like they're getting spread a little too thin, and the
Yes.
quality control is not quite there. And the quality control is not right there. And then I read an article that pretty much says exactly that they were making too many things, it was spread too thin, and so all of a sudden things weren't lining up anymore. They've made a whole bunch of things. I mean, one of the things has been like obviously the end sequence or the end sting. Marvel made a thing about that, and they have done like over the last 5 years, they've done a lot of end stings that have gone nowhere else, as opposed to when they did the first batch of films.
Before Endgame, yeah.
Before Endgame, they'll do an end scene, and then it will be resolved in the next film, and then that one will go into the next film. That will go into, and they've done this whole over the last. And I think at the moment, this film, and I feel the fact that this film is so much fun and everything like that, it shows that they are scaling back on all that TV stuff. So they've essentially said that the problem you're having, Sharon, they're going to stop it. So if there's a Marvel TV show, it's not going to be linking into the films, and it's not that they're going to be stop doing that. And that's one thing I liked about this film is that in this film stands alone. There's almost, apart from the fact that the characters were introduced in other properties, this film doesn't really try to tie to anything bigger. It doesn't try to say, "Ooh, look what's coming." It doesn't. It just carries on. It just carries on. And I think this is the third Marvel movie in a row where this is essentially the end sequences of these films, like of the last Marvel movie, kind of get resolved in this one. The end sequence of this one is going to be resolved in the next one. So you can see that they're beginning. There seems to be joined up thinking. They're tightening up again, which is good.
And did you stay for the post-credit scenes,
Toast? Oh, 100%, yeah, all the way.
Yeah, and I knew as soon as I saw what I saw, I thought, this is tying in now.
Yeah, it's tying in. It's tying in. So
it's all tying
because
to
now
something big.
Yeah, and it's making me feel okay. Marvel are coming back a bit because they are stopping trying to do 100 million things, and they're trying to just focus on the thing that they're doing, get it good, get it well. Yeah. So I feel like with this film that they've done it. I do still feel, right? I mean, and I think one of the things is this is a Marvel movie that I've loved more than most recently, and it's one in which they didn't really mention the multiverse because I've mentioned it before and how much I hate the multiverse and how much I think the multiverse is bad storytelling and it's just going to lead to everything eating itself. And I feel like in this, so the film is called Thunderbolts with an asterisk on it, right? And the asterisk is for a reason. It's because there's this whole running joke through the whole thing. They're like, oh, we're a new team. What are we going to call ourselves? And everything. Like, the reason why they get called the Thunderbolts is quite funny. It's totally different from why they call the Thunderbolts in the comic. But it's quite funny why they do it. But the asterisk is kind of like, it's a name holder. And it's been speculated, and it's not much of a spoiler to say, by the end of the film, like, they're given a new name. This team is given a new name. And it's so because they finally sort of like settle on a name that isn't Thunderbolts. And like, I don't think it's a spoiler to say that because it's been speculated as everywhere. If this is a spoiler for you, I'm sorry. And I am not that. The new name that they're given, I'm not on board. I'm not on board because the new name they're given, it tells me, and I said for ages, that Marvel is going to copy the comics, where eventually it'll get to a point where it will become big, it will become unwieldy, and there's not much you can do with it. There's not much you can do with it, and then you're going to just have to burn the whole thing and start again. And I feel like the name that they gave them is for me is a symptom of that. That okay, as much as I like this film, as much as it shows Marvel focusing in again, this thing is becoming unwieldy. It's becoming unwieldy, it's becoming big, because that's what happens in the comics. You just make more stories and more stories and more characters and more characters, and then it becomes too unwieldy and you're like, nobody knows what the hell's going on. Let's start again. And I feel like that's just the natural place for this shared universe and for Marvel, because they have so many characters and so many stories. Having said that, I really did enjoy this film. But so Sean, how many stars would you give this?
I'm going to give this a 4-star.
Yeah.
4-star for me.
Yeah, I was wavering between a 3 and a 4. I think it's a 4, but I think it's a low 4. I think it's a low 4. I do like the fact that the ending of the film, like, the big confrontation that they have.
Yes.
I like that fact that it's different. It's different. This film is a lot more about mental health than it is about punching people in the face.
Yes.
But and the bit where the characters are talking and moving along and everything like that, I really enjoyed that. But at some point the plot has to kick in, and the punching, and as Florence Pugh says, the punching and the shooting has to happen. Like, I think I love her character because she's just great. She's so sardonic, and she just sort of like comments on it. She's like, oh, so nobody has any powers? Well, we all just punch and shoot. And it's like, so it's cool. Okay, so 4 stars for Thunderbolts asterisk.